What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ninja Chortle, and today I want to talk some more about Marvel vs. Capcom, but wait for it. I don't have to use this footage anymore because guess what, guys? We got a new trailer yesterday, a whole lot of new information, and I want to talk about every single thing that has been confirmed for Marvel Infinite up until this point, and we're going to not waste any time. Let's get right into it. But before I get started, I just want to say there will be a little bit of speculation included in here. I'll make sure that when I talk about that, it'll be very clear, and I will give you straight facts about everything that's confirmed. So right now, the biggest thing that has been confirmed, September 19th, we will be playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on September 19th, 2017. Get hype! Now, that is on PS4 and on Xbox One and on Steam for PC. So if you have PC, you can expect somebody to mod that. I kind of wish I was in a good position to do that so I can get some awesome mods, but I'll be most likely getting it on PS4. Again, 3 platforms. It'll be $60 standard edition. With that, guys, the game itself will be $60 once again, and it's going to have pre-order bonuses. And if you pre-order the standard edition or any edition, you will receive special premium costumes for Thor. That will be the Warrior Thor costume, and Evil Ryu or Evil Ryu, whatever your fancy, will be included in any pre-order of this game. Now, there is also a deluxe edition, which is priced at $90. With that pre-order, you will get the previous costumes I just mentioned, as well as you will receive the Gladiator Hulk, which is, if you don't know, from Planet Hulk in the comics. He had a gladiatory armor or costume, and that is very similar to what you're going to see in Thor Ragnarok coming out later this year. And then the other costume is Command Mission X, that is for Mega Man, which looks really sweet. At least I like it. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but you have to pre-order the game to get the previous 2 costumes and those 2 for Mega Man and Hulk. And also with the deluxe edition, you will get the season pass for 2017. That gives you 6 characters for DLC. One of those characters is Sigma. Now, let's talk about that before we go back into the last edition. We got all of these characters confirmed today as going to be playable for the launch of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That is Ultron, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Rocket Raccoon, Chun-Li, Strider Hero, and Chris Redfield. Now, first off, Sigma is not in there. Yes, he's a DLC character. You have to get the season pass to be able to get him, or you can buy him, separately at at its release. Now, I'm going to speculate. I don't know for sure. There's nothing saying this, because I'm only speculating this because, like most of the internet, it kind of doesn't make sense that a character who's so important to the story, Sigma, is not going to be a playable character or a part of the initial release of Marvel Infinite. He's going to be a DLC character. So I'm going to speculate that DLC characters could get the treatment that they got in Street Fighter V. So if you don't know what that is, in Street Fighter V, you could outright purchase characters who are DLC, which would be like Alex and Urien and Guile, with real world money and just buy them. Same thing with costumes. You could just buy costumes, different colors and so on, if you just had cash. But if you played enough of the game modes, which particularly is online and a few of the the cinematic story, you will get in-game credits which you can exchange for costumes and unlock characters in Street Fighter V. So there's a chance that this could possibly be implemented in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm not saying that it's a concrete or definite thing, but it just doesn't make sense that Sigma wouldn't be a part of this roster initially, and that you'd have to pay for him, especially when he is part of Ultron Sigma, which is part of, again, something that was confirmed today or last night with this new trailer that Ultron and Sigma, that shadowy figure we saw in the first trailer, it is actually a version of them together, and they are the main villain of this story for Marvel Infinite. Something to pay attention to with this character is that once they're together, they're using the Infinity Stones or Infinity Gems, whatever your fancy. But I like to show you that they have two of them attached to their body. Which two? They have the red gem and they have the blue gem. Now, that's kind of significant in several ways. First off, there's the MCU version of these Infinity Stones, and then there's the comic book version of the Infinity Stones. Now, the Infinity Stones are not anything new to the Marvel franchises. They were first featured in Marvel Superheroes as a power-up that you can use during battle, and they're going to be used similarly here in Marvel Infinite. But if you don't know anything about them, they are stones that contain various forms of power and energy, ability. Like there's 6 of them total, and in the comic books, the blue stone signified the mind, so it contained mind-like power. So people have great telepathy, but not just great like Professor X, more like Professor X times 10 on steroids, that they can reach multi-universes and control all beings within their sights, within their reach, within, like I said, universes. It is all kinds of mental powers, is what the blue Infinity Stone or Infinity Gem was in the comics. And then the red one in the comics is the Power Stone that contains all power, all strength that ever was in the past, that ever is in the present, and ever will be in the future. It has all of that in the Power Stone, and it makes other things more powerful. So you can actually take the Power Stone and use it with the Mind Stone and make the Mind Stone more powerful because it's with the Power Stone. And same thing with the other stones. Now, that doesn't make sense because we're talking about Sigma and Ultron. They're robots. They don't have brains. Sure, they can use the Power Stone, but they don't have a brain to operate the Mind Stone. It's a mental thing. But if you go to look at the Infinity Stones and the MCU, then we have the difference. Now, in the MCU, the blue stone is the space stone. So that will control all kinds of space. They can basically go from one part of the universe to another, and they can do that within, a blink of an eye. They control space. And the red stone in the MCU is the reality stone, where they can affect all kinds of reality, do a reality warping. They can change water into a brick of concrete. They can change a staff into elephant or whatever. It's reality. So putting those two together is a good reason why you can have Marvel and Capcom interact in the first place. But on top of that, have Ultron, Sigma control the universes. So that will be the main focus of the story. So make sure you take a look at that. Again, that's still speculation on my part on what type of use they have of these gems, but I can only see 2 gems on Ultron Sigma. The other 4 gems aren't present on his body. Now, getting back to the characters, once again, we've confirmed that, Ultron, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Rocket, Chun-Li, Strider, and Chris are going to be in this game. I've made lists previous to this about what characters I think are going to be coming back and new characters and so on. Hulk is expected. I fully expected they were going to do a Bruce Banner Hulk and not any other version. Maybe She-Hulk. Since she was in the previous game, she still has a chance, since she is a separate character from Hulk, that we may see her later on. Thor, no-brainer. Rocket, with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out literally like 2 weeks from now, he's already in the game. Previously, he was kind of a no-brainer. I do expect Star-Lord at some point in the future, and possibly Gamora. And of course, Chun-Li is a no-brainer. Strider is also, for the most part, a no-brainer. People love Strider. Chris Redfield was the one that when I made my video, Resident Evil 7 had not come out. And now that it's out, and spoiler alert, he's in the game. And spoiler alert, there's DLC for Chris Redfield for Resident Evil 7. And also, spoiler alert, they delayed that. It's not coming out, and it's supposed to come out now, and it's not. But anyway, Chris Redfield is still very much a part of the Resident Evil franchise, so putting him in the game makes sense. What is surprising is that his character model still looks 100% exactly like it did in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is what he looked like in Resident Evil 5. In Resident Evil 7, he looks like a completely different human, so it's shocking to me that they did not do anything to update his face or his body at all. He is a big, bulky man with a gun. So we'll see. Maybe they make changes. Maybe it's a premium costume for him to look more like his modern self. But we'll see. That'll be very interesting going forward. Another thing that's very worth talking about, I already mentioned about how it could implement something like Street Fighter V in terms of in-game currency, is that Street Fighter V doesn't exactly have any game modes outside of online, and that throw in cinematic story mode. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite will actually have game modes. It's worth noting, really, it is, honestly. It's going to have a story mode. It's going to have a classic arcade mode. It will have training. It will have mission modes. And it says various multiplayer offerings, naturally. Big quote unquote on the naturally, guys. Thanks, Capcom. You're making a regular fighting game that is up to expectations. But it is, again, worth noting given the way Street Fighter V was treated. Now, let's not forget the collector's edition, the $200 that you're going to have to pay to get it. What do you get in this collector's edition? Remember, there's also a deluxe edition that's $90, but collector's edition, $200, you're going to get the game. You'll get the deluxe edition that is a 2017 season pass, which will include all of the 6 characters that will come for this season as DLC, as well as 4 figurines. That is Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Chun-Li, and Mega Man X. And you will get all Infinity Stones that are LED lit, and it comes in special packaging, obviously, because you can't fit all of that in a normal game box package. That is $200, and man, oh man, that's a lot of money. And just like anything else Marvel vs. Capcom related, I'm most likely going to spend all of my money on it because I am a sucker for. I even bought the Steelbook for our Ultimate Marvel, or no, just for regular Marvel 3. I bought the Steelbook, and I most likely will get this. I usually don't buy season passes or any sort of collector's editions for any game. I never bought a collector's edition for a game. This will be my first, and I am welcoming it. Again, 6 characters are part of that DLC, and one of those characters is confirmed to be Sigma. We will see. Now, here is what I presume will be the cover art for the game, and I do want to talk about the costumes again. They're premium costumes that are available through pre-order. I'm assuming there will be many premium costumes as they were in Marvel 3. Most of the looks that I'm seeing, if I would say all of the looks that I'm seeing, including Ultron, especially Ultron, is comic book based. And I see a lot of people talking online saying that these looks are based on the MCU and that this game is based on the MCU, which it is not. This game is based on the comic books, and that includes Hawkeye. Hawkeye's look is 100% his modern look in the comic books, not his MCU Jeremy Renner version. Thor's look is 100% from the comics as well. In fact, it's an outdated look. He looks a lot different now. A lot different right now. So I'm hoping that's going to be a premium costume to get his cloak and hood and his black metal arm and sweet new axe. I'm very much hoping for that for Thor. But like I said, with Hawkeye, that is actually what he looks like right now in the comic books. His classic look from Marvel 3, That is a classic costume in the comic books. He doesn't look like that in the movies. He doesn't look like that anymore in the comic books. This game itself, again, is a comic book based game. They're not taking the MCU into consideration. So one of the glaring things I know a lot of people are wanting to know about still and are still worried about is the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. Are those characters going to be in this game? Again, that I've already covered this in a video previously. I will leave a link to that in the description below. It'll also be the end card to this video, but too long didn't read or didn't watch. Yes, they can absolutely be in this game. Can be. It has nothing to do with Fox. Fox doesn't have rights to this to the X-Men franchise in the video game world. Marvel has full rights to every single character they have in video games. It's more of an executive decision on whether or not they want them to be there. So they can be. We can bug Bill Roseman and anyone else that is involved in that decision process to bring the X-Men and Doctor Doom particularly to this game. It's just whether or not they want to have, because it's really synergy that's the issue. It's not contracts. But again, I will leave a link to my previous video discussing this. I talked about it a couple months ago. It'll be in the description below if you're worried about the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Anything else? I don't believe there's anything else. Here's some screenshots as well. You can see some of the in-game, the life bars and how it's going to be presented on screen. There are some other things that have come up in the last 24 hours that are still, for the most part, considered speculation that I want to talk about in a separate video with other speculation. And also I want to talk about in the next video, because there's going to be a new gameplay video posted this week on YouTube on Marvel vs. Capcom's YouTube channel. So it's going to be up within the next day or so. I want to wait and get more information before I start discussing that speculation that's out there, as well as what's going to be in this gameplay footage, which again, it'll be very new. It should probably be footage of Strider and Ultron. It may be of Chun-Li and Hawkeye and so on, but it should be of those new characters so we can get some more of a taste of what we have going on. I'm going to be at E3 this year. I fully expect this game to be at E3 and playable there. So I'm going to be all 3 days, and I'm most likely going to hover around Marvel Infinite and get a full impression of the game as best as I can, so I can bring back it and talk about it to you guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more information to keep up with Marvel Infinite, as well as other Marvel games, and as well as other games that I just have a strong interest in. You can take a look at my channel and see what those games are. There will be other games going forward throughout the year that I just pick up and start talking about. So if you're interested in staying up to date in games, give me a subscribe and I will appreciate that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.